Hello, hello. Welcome everybody to the Ted and Manila Information Show. I am fittingly to your left because everyone knows I am the lefty. uh, Robby West, I'm filling in for the no longer pregnant Manila Chan. And to my right, which I guess can be fair because Ted, I have been out lefting you lately, is the communist Ted Rall. So how the hell that role happens, I have no idea.
You have been. Do you hear me? Do you hear me now?
Yeah, you sound fine.
Oh my God, it's so strange. All right, well, the show is getting a little smoother every day. Thank you so much for bringing us in, Robby. You're watching the TMI Show, indeed, for Friday, May 15th, 2026. And we hear Manila will be back in a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. Yeah. We will keep you posted on that. Thank you for joining us. Yesterday, if you missed it, DMZ America podcast up on YouTube and Rumble right now with Scott Stantis and myself and our guest Rob Rogers of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. That was good. So, worth checking out. It was a good conversation. We have a lot to talk about. We should probably just do what we normally do and just veer into it insanely. What do you think?
Before we do, I'm going to sabotage us.
Oh my God, no!
Yes, it's true. I'm going to channel my inner Manila, but in a productive way. I have questions from the last show.
Okay.
After the Spanish-American War, two questions. One, why didn't we just annex Cuba? I mean, we annexed Guam, we annexed Puerto Rico, we annexed the Philippines. Why not annex Cuba? And second, it's obvious that the DC cartel wants Cuba. Why just annex it?
Well, we did. I mean, so we got the Spanish, we got Cuba, and in short order, we sent U.S. Marines to invade Cuba, and we took it over, right? We installed a puppet. We installed a puppet president.
But we made it a protectorate. I mean, I'm talking about. I mean, why does it? First, no. Back then, why didn't we just annex it? Second, why doesn't Trump just annex it now? I mean, Ratcliffe is there in Havana. I mean, this would be the perfect time to go President James Polk. Say, listen, you've been pretending like you're a real country now for 100 years. The game is over. You're not a real country. You are our footstool. It's time for you to accept your fate. We're going to annex you. We'll make you a territory. Maybe one day we'll make you a state. You could get all of the benefits that the United States has to offer. Medical debt. We'll be able to offer you outsourced jobs. Maybe some immigration from Haiti. So you get yourself some cultural enrichment, and you will accept it. Why are we playing this game like that? What the Cuban people want matters.
Well, I don't think it had to do with that, but even with the Gadsden Purchase, the key word is purchase, right? The United States, as it's expanded, has always kind of avoided direct annexation. It basically steals your land. It coerces you into selling your land, or it doesn't really directly annex anything. Has it ever?
Yeah. I mean, we have.
Well, like what?
Well, I seem to recall.
I mean, in the post. I don't mean like with the British colonists. I mean like after 1775.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can make the case that after the United States kicked the crap out of Mexico not once but twice. Now, you can't make the case that the Congress did at least pay Mexico for the annexation of the entire northern quarter of their country. But I mean, that was a military conquest, and I think that's.
No, I'm not saying what the reality was. I'm talking about the veneer of legality. But and there would have been no veneer of legality unless the Spanish had agreed to sell, and they weren't agreeing to sell Cuba.
Back then, though, the United States was engaged with other great powers. Like you had to deal with the British Empire, you had to deal with the French Empire. That's no longer the case. France is a vassal. The English army can fit in a soccer stadium. It's a joke. It's non-existent. Denmark has dog sled teams. Who could stop us? Serious question. I mean, the Russians could send just a strongly worded email. The Chinese, I mean, vis-a-vis Cuba, they're in the same position we are with Taiwan. You're not going to send a ship to fight a fort. No one's going to trade Beijing or St. Petersburg for Havana.
No, look, I'm not saying we couldn't do it. I'm just explaining why we didn't do it.
Yeah, but why don't we do it now?
I'm just answering your question.
But why don't we do it now?
Well, I guess, stripping away the veneer of legality would seem like the next logical course of action. So maybe that's going to happen. We have stories to get to.
Yeah,
You
let's
are
do it.
channeling the inner
I am.
Manila. I'm going to channel my inner Manila as well because it is Friday. Breaking news. Trump said that his administration has selected West Potomac Park in Washington, D.C. as the site of his new planned National Garden of American Heroes, raising questions about whether Congress would need to approve the project. This magnificent exhibition of statues will be located in West Potomac Park, which we are transforming into one of the world's most beautiful public spaces, Trump wrote on Truth Social. Where else? Trump has previously said the project will feature life-size statues of roughly 250 Americans, roughly. Can't count to exactly 250, I guess, including presidents. I wonder which presidents will be on there. What do you think? Can you think of one who might certainly be on there?
One may, well, a lot of them will probably be in that black marble that they use there in the Capitol, but one will be golden and dazzling in the sun.
I think I know which one that will be, with a bunch of Christian Zionists paid 24/7 to lick its toes clean and other body parts. Anyway, civil rights leaders, probably not so many of those. Scientists, probably not so many of those. Athletes, lots of those. And entertainers, lots and lots of those.
What about cartoonists?
Probably very few of those, although we count as entertainers, I suppose. The list of figures includes such names as John Adams, MLK, Amelia Earhart, Albert Einstein, and Kobe Bryant. Now, riddle me this. Albert Einstein's German. He wasn't born here. I mean, I guess he became an American, but does that count?
I wouldn't think so. And Kobe Bryant played ball. So who the hell cares about him? Serious question. I mean, does that truly make you a great American?
Me.
Because you're good at running back and forth on a court, getting sweaty, and throwing your little orange ball?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think so. I mean, I guess you could make an argument for someone who, an athlete who had some other role of symbolic significance, like, Jackie Robinson desegregating the, Major League Baseball or something like that. Or maybe Muhammad Ali and his resistance to capitalism and the Vietnam War. I could see that aside from the fact that he was a good boxer. No, I mean, to me, that's not what makes a good American. But you and I both know that the taste of the 250-ish statues is probably that list. My list would not be your list, and neither of our lists would be Trump's list. I think your list and my list would be closer to each other than Trump's list would be to either of ours.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a chance to have just one statue, I would have to go with either Robert E. Lee or Stonewall Jackson. Probably Stonewall Jackson, because he defied the laws of the Confederacy to teach black kids to read.
Well, he's not. You know Stonewall Jackson's not going to be on there.
Yeah. Of course not, but he's a great American. I mean, he should be.
Hey, and at least the statues still exist in a warehouse somewhere.
No, it doesn't. It got all melted down. It's that monstrosity that
none of them got saved.
Not to my knowledge.
I think we should just forget about the whole American thing since we're including Einstein. Let's have Vladimir Lenin, Mao Zedong, all your Clovis, obviously.
Listen, I get behind Clovis. I mean,
Clovis should be the biggest one. It should be hundreds of feet. I want it should be 250 feet tall.
No, one of the things,
and it should have glowing red eyes.
No, one of the things I've really been wrestling with, from the modern era, from who was the biggest monster, William Tecumseh Sherman or Mao Zedong? They were both grade A dicks who should have been strangled by their own guts.
Donald Trump.
I mean, as a matter of scale,
Barack
Mao Zedong
Obama
did kill more people, so he probably wins by default. And he also did it, but they both like to use starvation as a weapon.
Yep, as do most American presidents, as we're currently seeing in Cuba. All right, let's get going here. We're almost a third of the way through
Oh,
this show.
come on. No, listen, this is Friday. Manila's not here.
Yeah.
This is what people are here for.
I'm running a tight ship. So here we go. Off to the races. Okay, a quirky, this is a very important story, by the way. A quirky strongman claims to have become the first individual globally to tow a vehicle with his penis while ablaze.
Good for him.
Well, you don't think that's important?
No, I think that shows that you're a moron, and that I hope that you are removed from the gene pool.
But you admit that it is impressive.
It's impressive in a very stupid kind of way. Like, if you're going to fall upstairs, that's like falling up multiple flights of stairs. It's easy to fall downstairs. Falling upstairs is more difficult, and that's what this guy has succeeded in doing. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know where to start with this because I don't.
Well, I'll continue. John Stevenson, 50 years old, dragged a 2-ton French police car. No word on if the cops knew that the police car was being dragged. 40 meters, that's 131 feet, along a residential street using his penis after being set on fire. He accomplished this extraordinary feat in Halifax, West Yorkshire on Thursday as bewildered local residents looked on. Employing a tow rope fastened to his penis, John managed to haul the Renault Clio RS along the road where ITV drama Ackley Bridge was being shot. And despite acknowledging that it hurt quite a bit, the father of 3, probably not necessarily going to be the father of 4, confirmed everything was still intact. The martial arts specialist and former bare knuckle fighter previously made headlines for dragging a vehicle using his testicles and towing a car while his head was engulfed in flames. Therefore, brilliantly, he chose to merge both stunts to highlight men's mental health concerns and believes he is the sole person worldwide to have accomplished such a remarkable achievement. Painter and decorator John of Spalding, Lincolnshire, stated, "I've pulled a car with my testicles before, and I've pulled a car on fire, so I thought, why not combine the both, but this time do it with my penis. I won't lie, it did hurt quite a bit, but my mind was focused on being on fire, and I just plowed on and pulled it for around 40 meters. I doused myself in lighter fluid, and the wind was against me a bit, so it took a couple of attempts. I've got a few marks down there, but everything's still intact, so hopefully no harm done. People think I'm a bit mad, but I like to set myself challenges. I did my research, and nobody in the world has ever done this before." John Stevenson, 50 years old, is 50 years old. There is a serious side to it, too. I'm raising awareness of prostate cancer and bullying in schools, which can include being kicked in the balls. I'm also raising money for Rudis Retreat in Huddersfield, which provides holidays for families of children with cancer. He also holds the world record for delivering 300 punches in 30 seconds while gripping 1 kilogram dumbbells in each hand.
That is
Thoughts?
That's a man among men, a specimen not to be trifled with. The fact that he has 3 children already probably is a good thing, because I don't know if he would have been able to spawn more after the stunt that he did. Good news though, Adrian. So Adrian pointed out that he was concerned about my safety because of my friend right here. This will be the last day that my friend will be there. So I visited my apartment complex yesterday. The people who were here, they're no longer here. I do not know where they are, but they were removed. I did not call them.
Did you witness this?
I did. I did witness this. I did witness.
So what did they do? How did it go?
Well, they came into the apartment with the property manager company that was here. ICE came in. They waited for the. They waited for the
polite?
people.
Were they violent?
There was a lot of screaming and wailing from the women folk, and they were rounded up along with their spawn, along with the men, and they had like 9 people in one. And you've been in my apartment, and the 9 people in this one little tiny apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Wrapped them all up, took them all out, and it's early to tell, but last night was the first night in 2 months that someone was not broken into. So, yeah. So the deportations are back in force here in Montana. Thank you, President Trump. I appreciate that. And please focus on keeping your promises and continue to deport the migrants. We appreciate you. Get out of Iran and focus those energies here. I appreciate you.
I refuse to be distracted to talking to the trivial issues of mass migration and the war against Iran and Christian Zionism. And I refuse to be distracted from the pressing matter of the penis-pulling, on-fire dude from England.
Oh, that was awesome. It's a great story. I don't really know how much.
Don't you wonder how he... I looked this up. I wanted to know exactly how this works. I mean, I asked AI, like, how did he do this without, pulling his penis off or harming himself grievously or, dying? There's a lot of blood vessels in the human penis and presumably in the non-human penis.
One would think so.
So basically, it's only partly a cheat. Basically, the key thing the AI told me was, don't try this at home. Okay, so I'm not a mega retard, only a partial retard. So I'm not going to try this at home or anywhere else. I'm not going to try but apparently he wrapped his balls around. He used a soft cloth to attach his penis and his balls. So part of the explanation, which I found unsatisfactory, was that he pulled the car using his balls as well. So his testicles were sharing some of the pressure. I didn't feel like that would necessarily fully explain things. But apparently he also has a way of leaning forward in a way that kind of distributes the pressure evenly across his body. And basically the AI also reminded me that he's a professional and that therefore there are trade secrets to his penis pulling that should not be viewed as something like back in the Jackass days in the 80s when kids would set themselves on fire and try to fly their big wheel over garbage cans and be surprised that they ended up in traction. I don't know. I mean, as an owner of a penis, I found this fascinating.
But how does one become an expert at penis pulling cars? Especially, I mean, is there a class that you take? What does the training regimen look like? I mean,
I think he's self-taught.
I mean, I would assume that you use some kind of special underwear, maybe with a harness. And
well, that's a good point. I guess he had to be clothed, right? I mean, he's not running around bare ass in Lincolnshire.
Not with his head on fire. I mean, that's not something that would particularly work. I don't think. I mean,
the thing is, I'm
thinking it had to be some kind of a harness. So probably some kind of special underwear with a clip that wraps around your junk, and then you chain. But you got to make sure it's in the front, else it's not your penis and your balls doing the work. So you just got to just separate it all around, chain them up, and then pull using probably like a leather underwear, kind of like a harness. Is what I would think you would have to do.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Now, the thing is, I do feel like, what does this say about our society, right? Like that we live in a society where merely setting yourself on fire used to be, for a Buddhist monk in the early 1960s in Hanoi, was enough to capture global attention.
That happened in Saigon, not Hanoi.
Saigon, my apologies.
That's fake news, Ted. You are spreading disinformation.
Good point. Now Ho Chi Minh City, right? But that was enough to, really get you on the news. Nobody said fuck that Buddhist monk. Why didn't he set his dick on? Why didn't he pull his dick, use his dick to pull a tank at the same time? Nobody's like, what a puss. And, at the same time, I think I want to live in a world where merely being known as a man who can pull cars with his dick ought to be enough. You shouldn't also have to set yourself on fire.
I mean, I'd be more impressed if he pulled a tank than a car.
Well, there have been people who pulled trains, right? Like with their teeth. You've seen that.
Yeah, but I mean, teeth and dicks are two different things. So, with your
Oh,
teeth,
yeah.
I mean, you got to know you got the bit. I mean,
And teeth are
and,
very strong.
yeah, and
Yeah.
you're able to use your full body for this. Now, I
Mhm.
guess in a way, if you're using your penis because your hips are involved. At least I would assume that your hips are involved with this. But I do find it curious though that you're trying to hijack the ice story that I just broke
Well,
here.
Robbie, I just think this has greater socio-political and philosophical implications for the future of mankind. I mean, first of all, you're always complaining about like job losses and how so many of our jobs are being outsourced overseas or given to illegal migrants.
No,
But if we were
or
to
even legal
develop
migrants.
our own domestic dick pulling industry here in the United States, close to half the population would be guaranteed employment. You can't outsource dick pulling to China.
I wonder if we should make that a requirement that for men who are behind on their welfare payments.
Or for CEOs who don't want to be prosecuted under the upcoming socialist revolution.
The CEOs are fine because they'll just buy the pull-up bureau. Let me see here. John D. Cockefeller, thank you for the $2. In 2026, Martin Luther would have nailed his dick to the door of the church. That was thesis. This is true. This is true. I mean,
Yeah,
I
that was the Protestant penal reformation.
yes. I mean, it's just, I've really got nothing more for the story. I mean, I guess.
Wait, okay, I'm gonna bite
listen,
on your ice story. Are you really saying, Robbie?
listen, I like my dick.
that
I use my dick. I use my dick every day. Sometimes my wife
I'm
uses my dick, but
I'm
there
a
are
fan of my
times.
dick. Yeah, I don't want to. I feel like my dicks. I've probably already done things to my penis that I ought not to have done, and so I don't want to push it.
I mean, when I worked in the emergency room, I saw a guy who had degloved his dick,
But he
and
did what?
he degloved. He peeled the skin off of his dick, like up to the head of the penis, and I mean, listen, working in the emergency room, you see some stuff.
No.
Yes,
Why did he do that?
Well,
Was he a meth head?
No, it wasn't on purpose. He wanted to get a blowjob. He couldn't find
Industrial
someone who wanted
accident?
to do it. No, he tried to use a vacuum cleaner to give his to simulate a blowjob, and the vacuum cleaner did so well it degloved him. Like it rolled the flesh, just leaving the muscles. But there's no blood. It was impressive. I mean, it was just like skinning a squirrel. It was just a neat roll.
Oh my God.
The guy was like, he wasn't circumcised, so it just rolled all the way through the penile head, and it was impressive.
So, okay, full disclosure, I'm circumcised. So, as
Yeah, I am too.
it was common to do so when I was born. Yeah, like everybody was back then. But wow. Okay. That's really wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you're going to pull a car using your penis,
Hmm.
one must take care that you don't accidentally deglove your little friend down there because it can
I would
happen.
think.
I mean,
Yeah, well, clearly.
I mean, listen, if a vacuum cleaner can deglove a penis, imagine what a chain could do if you were to make a mistake with how it is that you're wrapping your stuff up and then you're pulling. And the worst part is that you're on fire while you're doing it. And so I don't know how your brain would be able to interpret all these
I
signals.
also want to know where the police car came from, and why was it a French police car in England? Like, was a French cop like on, an investigatory mission where he followed a suspect to England? The guy goes to get a cup of tea. He comes out. Hey, where's my car? And and a passerby goes, "Hey mate, some blokes pulling it with his wang."
Yeah, Adrian wants to know if the guy was okay. Yeah, he was fine. He had to get some antibiotics, cream, and just basically the skin just had to grow back because there's nothing you
And
could
stay away.
do
And was he advised to stay away from his Hoover?
to stop sticking his dick in things that it did not belong in. Yes, still that was probably a good life choice
Yeah.
to,
No. Agreed.
utilize a human orifice as opposed to a mechanical vacuum.
Man, people are insane. Okay, well, I'm not going to get into my
Well, okay,
yeah.
it's Friday. Get into it. Who cares?
Okay, so I had this, like you said, emergency room. So I'm interested in emergency room stories. Who isn't?
No,
I had a former relative, in other words, an ex-in-law. She worked at the emergency room at George Washington University Medical Center in D.C. And this guy comes in one day, and she said, he's clothed, and she's like, she's like, what's the problem? He said, well, I think there might be like a problem like down there, and I'm not really, like out of an abundance of caution before things get like out of control, I thought it was better, just come in and have it checked out. And she's like, oh, well, yeah, I'll be happy to take a look. And so drop trow. So he does that, and he had gangrene to the point where his penis what was left of it was hanging off by a thread and just basically like
Gone.
Like it was gone. And he was in such denial about it. He said, well, it's fine, right? It's like not a big deal. And she's like, and so, yeah. And she said that he really hadn't like internalized the fact that his penis was gone. And this has obviously been going on for months. She said it was like black and gangrenous and pus. It was dripping out, and it was like the smell was god awful, and that people were like puking in the ER.
Yeah, I would think so.
I'm like, holy shit. Like, yeah, that's it. All right. So the TMI show is totally living up to its name today.
I've got more ER stories.
Let's hear one more, and then we'll move on to our next story.
So for whatever reason, sometimes there are some guys who like to stick stuff up their butts.
Why? Yeah, I know that. I've heard about that. Yeah.
And this one dude was really impressive. He had those little plastic red deodorant containers that they're made of plastic. You just screw it up, and the deodorant comes up.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he tried to shove one of these up his butt, which is impressive.
Was he trying to smuggle it past TSA because it was over 3.3 ounces?
I honestly have no idea what the thought process was, because I was interviewing the guy. They're talking to him.
So wait. So how does he bring this up? So is he like? So you're like, so sir, happy to help you. How can I be of assistance?
Well, the way this happened is because while he was getting it up there, the plastic broke, and the shards ruptured up, just pierced his rectum and his colon. I mean, it was really impressive. So the bleeding was impressive, and so he called 911, came in on an ambulance, and so while we're talking to him, it's like, what exactly happened here? Because this guy was just bleeding out of his ass quite profusely, as one would do if you perforate it with sharp plastic. And it's like, I was trying to use this deodorant bottle to screw myself with, and of course, me being an asshole, pun intended. Literally. It's just like, and how did that work out for you? and Dr. Leaker, the doctor in the ER, just looked at me just like, you just said what everyone was thinking. Now get out.
I mean, I don't understand. Also, like, okay, there are in life many sort of anus-shaped objects that one could choose to do this with.
A deodorant bottle, a plastic bottle of deodorant is not one of those. They're oval shaped. They're not round. It's not a spheroid. Right. It doesn't have a tapered end. Like, you guys just brute force it up there.
I mean, I recently bought a device that would have been perfect for that. It's for planting seeds, yeah. And it's like it's like a narrow cylinder, and then it has like a rounded but somewhat sharp tip, and it's And you put the seed at the bottom of it. You use it to punch a hole in the soil
Well,
and drop seeds in there.
yeah, well, Mayo says, "Hey, these guys get sex toys." Oh, I got sex toy stories too, but it depends on if my illustrious host will
Oh,
allow
come
me.
on. It's Friday, and then we'll get to the other two stories.
Yeah, who cares? Okay, this gay dude and his boyfriend went into the illustrious Baptist Hospital because that's where you are always going to go if you're a gay dude with your boyfriend with full on HIV, mind you, not or full on AIDS, not HIV, just full on AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had this vibrator stuck up his butt. Well, the problem is that the anus clamped around it so tight that you couldn't extract it, like you couldn't pull it out. And so he comes in, grinning all over, happy as a clam. He's there with his boyfriend, and
was it still buzzing?
Oh yeah, it was still on. Like it's not the one. It didn't have removable batteries, so I mean, you had to wait for it to actually die. Well, so this guy's going to have surgery to get it out, and because he had full on not HIV, I mean, he had full on AIDS. It's like we're not touching this dude because
he's a cesspool of contagion.
Yeah, very much so. So this guy was in the emergency room, just yucking it up, just being a general nuisance. And we had to wait. And the battery charge of this thing, it was like 6 hours into my shift before it finally died. So we could take him to the emergency room to extract this dildo from his friend.
From the dildo.
Yeah, and then he told his boyfriends that, "Don't worry, we'll do it again tomorrow. I'll be fine. If anything, it'll be looser." And he's just like, "You are such a sick bastard." I mean,
oh my God, what a dumbass. It's
yes.
like, if that were me, I'd be like, I don't ever want to see one of those things ever again the rest of my life.
Yeah, well, this guy, I mean, he was just happy as just a pig in slop, just like, the people would be walking by.
I kind of admire people like that. It's about the simple pleasures, Robbie.
Well, this is definitely a simple pleasure. I mean, it's tickling his prostate for hours, and there's just no getting it out.
That's a lifetime's worth of joy. All right, now we're moving on. Okay, here we go. Okay, a fugitive from Detroit. I love this guy. Recently arrested for killing his punk rock singer roommate back in 1993, has been described in news reports as a ghost because he was able to elude the authorities for more than 30 years. But during that time, Richard Werstine was not a stranger to the cops. While he was on the lam, Richard Werstine was arrested several times and was even shot in 1999 during a confrontation with the police in Flagstaff, Arizona, according to the U.S. Marshal who tracked him down. His arm is still messed up from that, Chief Deputy U.S. Marshal Jimmy Allen told NBC News. Now, with the 56-year-old murder suspect back in Detroit and awaiting a court hearing, Allen credited the tenacity and commitment of the U.S. Marshals Service working to bring Werstine and those like him into police custody. Why did it take so long to arrest Werstine for the fatal shooting of 23-year-old Rodney Barger? Because, by the way, he used several aliases, including Joseph Allen Stavros, and tracking down fugitives was a lot harder 30 years ago. This was the 90s, Allen explains. This was before the internet and fingerprint databases weren't as accessible as they are now. So when we took over the case in 2022, I was essentially starting from the beginning. Using state-of-the-art investigative resources and techniques, the marshals and members of their Detroit Fugitive Apprehensive Team task force picked up his trail and tracked the dude to Panama City, Panama. With the help of the Panamanians, they descended upon a dog park in Panama City on April 29th, captured the dude without incident. He was in possession of fraudulent identification, and a subsequent fingerprint analysis led to him being identified as the fugitive, the statement said. He confessed to his true identity and being on the run. He admitted to entering Panama illegally in 2005 and never bothered to obtain legal status. Barger was the wild man vocalist of a popular Motown area punk rock band called Cold as Life. His stage name was Rawn Beauty, R-A-W-N, according to Revolver magazine. He was arrested for the crime several days after Barger was shot in the head as he slept on September 15th, 1993. But Werstine who was out on bail at the time, failed to appear for trial in June 1994, and a warrant was issued for his arrest. I don't know how a guy who's wanted for shooting his roommate while he's sleeping is allowed out on bail. But anyway, after that, he took off. He was a ghost since 1994, a federal source said. He was very cunning, very crafty while on the run. His whereabouts after that are not known. In January 1999, he was using the Stavros alias when he was charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault and 2 counts of disorderly conduct and shot several times by the Flagstaff police before he fled. So, first of all, as a punk rock fan, Robbie, I have to tell you, I have great interest in tracking down this to see if there's any like video or of this band performing. I think that would be, if he was such a wild man, I kind of like want to know all about it. And also, I love the fact that, this guy got away so many times. I feel like this is kind of like we were talking about Alex Murdaugh yesterday.
No.
Like the state had their chance. He was on the lam for 30 years. He's too smart to be in jail. Just let America's loss be Panama's gain.
Yeah, I really think that Luigi should have reached out to this guy before he did his public service, because he could have given him pointers. I mean, listen, I think that this guy, he's obviously crafty. He's skilled. He should be given a commission with the CIA immediately.
Totally.
To start teaching people, this is what you do, this is how you get away. And really, it just goes to show just how much of a joke of a country Panama is. I mean, they had a national treasure like this. And then they just surrender it.
That's true.
What that's how much is a hot dog or a thank you?
No, it's true. I mean, the man's obviously a genius.
And think about how many Panamanian children he's probably has fathered over the decades.
I would like to think many, because at least then the DNA pool continues.
Yeah,
Average IQ of Panama increasing.
Good. That's what needs to happen. I mean, seriously, he should. President Trump, you should give this man a pardon post haste.
Immediately. Couldn't agree more. I also thought of interest was the fact that, he that this is a dude who, the cops don't have an appreciation for him, right? I mean, like, there's not enough respect. I feel like the man's walking his dog, and they just up and interfere. I'm worried about the dog.
No, I am too. I mean, if you're going to arrest Maduro and his wife, then common decency should compel you to take the dog into custody as well.
That's true.
I mean, you could say, he could claim that it's a service animal under the Americans with Disabilities Act.
True.
This is my service animal. I need this.
I need this for emotional support. It's like, okay, so the dude kills his, let's just say allegedly kills his roommate and fellow punk singer, and then fucking dips. And I actually remember this case because, I used to be in Maximum Rock and Roll magazine, which was the Bible of punk. And I remember this story coming up. And it's like, they just think that they don't have to, they think they don't have to keep him in custody. Like, you'll be back for the trial, right? It's cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's clearly a gentleman's agreement, but those only work though if the other party is a gentleman. Like,
this
for example,
man didn't really sound like a gentleman. No, I mean, he didn't even give the guy. He shot the dude while he was sleeping.
Yeah, well, I mean, clearly, and the thing is, I mean, there's in the spirit of full disclosure, and all the time that I've been working with Ted, I have never once ever signed a contract because there's no need. He says, "Robbie, I need you to do this." I say, "Okie dokie," and it gets done, and that's just how it is. If you're going, like, if Ted ever decided he was going to, kill an insurance executive in his sleep or otherwise, if I was on Ted's jury, Ted, I give you my word right now that I would vote to acquit you. You are not guilty.
Thank you.
And there's no contract required because it's a gentleman's agreement. Sure, this is being seen now by everyone on the internet that watches the show, but it doesn't matter.
Agreed.
It's just I don't know. I mean, the fact that this guy went down to Panama, that he's dealt with the cops before, his arm's screwed up. He has a dog. That right there already makes him even better. He's better than a cat person.
No.
I mean,
Cat person better than dog person, but dog person better than no animal person.
well, this person has a dog in Panama, so it's not like it's kind of a mangy American dog. Like this is a dog that understands the English and Spanish language. This is a dog that's bilingual at least. This
It
dog
could be.
this
It could
dog
be
is.
it could be easily be a mangy dog, though.
I mean, this dog could very
Having been
well.
to Panama and observed local dogs.
I mean, this dog probably has the mental fortitude to run the Department of War better than than Hegseth.
That's certainly true.
So
Who doesn't, though?
yeah, listen, I realize it's a low bar, but you got to figure in that English is not this dog's first language. It's most likely Spanish.
Nor is it Pete Hegseth's.
I mean, he just grunts.
Well, we're still waiting for a first language for him.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, we live in special times, you know.
We do. You know, I kind of wish if I had a chance to do a reset, like if we had a time machine, if I was able to turn back time,
Yeah,
um, instead of going to Brazil and staying there with the meager savings I had, if I could have went to Kazakhstan or something, I would have committed as many crimes as I possibly could. Maybe robbed a couple of banks, knocked over a 7-Eleven.
wait, in
Had a few-
Kazakhstan?
No, here in the U.S.
Okay, all right.
and then go to Kazakhstan because there's no extradition treaty. And I could have
There
just
probably is now, but yeah.
yeah, but I mean, I could have went there. I could have become a citizen because they're cash strapped. Found myself some cute little Kazakh girl, got married, have a bunch of slanty eyed kids right now, and
Half
just gone full
slanty. They're
age.
Eurasian.
Well, it depends on where on the ethnic stock, right? But there's a lot of Mongoloids there, so I mean, I could have found myself some little cute little Asian and maybe a Asian girl there, and
Mhm.
got married, had a bunch of kids, and
That's
I wouldn't be deported because I would have become a naturalized citizen with my filthy lucre that I took there and stuffed in my shoes.
That's true. Oh my God! Yeah, an eagle just flew by my window. So cool. They're
It's
so
not-
they're so big.
they're huge. Don't let Clovis anywhere near them.
No. Clovis is toast if he does.
Yeah, no, for sure. Do any of your neighbors have those big collars with the spikes on them?
Wait, what are those?
Well, for people who have outdoor pets, they have little harnesses or little jackets you can put on your pet that have spikes on them. So if an eagle or a hawk tries to get your pet,
Really?
yeah, the spikes will nail the talons and they'll let your furry little friend go.
That's seriously good to know.
Not for sure, it's a real thing.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you for that information. I will pursue that. I will look into that for real. Because Clovis would like to go outside, but I haven't been letting him. Okay. Last and not least, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Foreign Minister Gideon Saar are threatening to sue the New York Times for defamation over the publication of that essay by Nicholas Kristof detailing allegations that Palestinian women, men, and children have been raped and sexually abused in Israeli military detention. Quote, following the publication by Nicholas Kristof in the New York Times of one of the most hideous and distorted lies ever published against the state of Israel in the modern press, which also received the backing of the newspaper, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Foreign Minister Gideon Saar have instructed the initiation of a defamation lawsuit against the New York Times. Israel's Minister of Foreign... Sorry, I'm looking at this giant eagle outside. I've got to get a picture of it. Hold on. You keep talking. I'm doing that.
Okay, no, you do that. So I just want to point this out. The fact that you've got a couple of Jewish guys who are threatening to sue somebody.
Oh, it's gone.
You didn't get the picture?
Oh, no, there he is. There he is. I got him.
Get him.
It's hard to see, but
Let's
huge.
see. Let's see if Ted is able to get this.
The problem is I have a screen on the window, so yeah.
That makes it harder.
Yeah.
But no, it's just crazy because who would think that a couple of rich Jewish guys would sue ever because someone says something that hurt their feelings, especially if it's factually true, because we know that they're raping Palestinians in prisons. They're the Israelis are very rapey. The Israeli soldiers themselves admit they're very rapey. They admit it to the point where the Israeli civilians stormed the jail to break out the Israeli soldiers who are doing the rapies. So there's no defamation here.
Well,
and
that's true. I mean, look, the thing is, there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of victims who have issued credible claims over time. Anyway, let me continue with this stupid post. They defamed the soldiers of Israel and perpetuated a blood libel about rape, trying to create a false symmetry between the genocidal terrorists of Hamas and Israel's valiant soldiers, Netanyahu added in a statement to Reuters. By the way, I don't know. I mean, he's supposedly Jewish, right?
No.
But you know what blood libel is, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, explain what blood libel is.
So blood libel, that comes from the Middle Ages when the story was that Jews would kidnap and kill little Christian children and then mix their blood with the dough to make their chatzah bread. So that's blood libel. That's where it comes from. I don't think anyone's accusing the Israelis of mixing Palestinian blood or the blood of the innocent people that they're making to make their chatzah bread. I think what we're doing is just accusing them of just being genocidal bastards because that's what they are. It's not the act of cannibalism. It's the act of killing that's still the same.
Well,
that's the problem.
So there's no allegation of eating babies here. Okay,
no.
So
this isn't Epstein Island.
This has become a thing where like Zionists are saying, like, every time you criticize Israel, like, oh, Israel doesn't pay their credit card on time, like blood libel. Like, no, it's not blood libel. Anyway,
I was accused of participating in blood libel on X when I pointed out that Jews will flee to Israel who are accused of pedophilia.
Well, that's a statement of fact.
Of course it is. But if you point that out, though, then you say, "Oh, that's a blood libel." So no, it's not a blood libel.
Those people don't know what blood libel means. You could say libel, but it's not a blood libel.
No, of course not. And even though it's not a libel because it's true.
Well, it's certainly not a libel, but it's definitely not a blood libel. It's not even an alleged blood libel.
Well, anyway, no. One thing you can say that's alleged. We do know that Israelis are raping Palestinian men and women.
Yes, they are.
There are accusations that they're using dogs as well to
Feel free to sue me, Bibi. Come and get me, okay? The Times has not yet responded to Israel's legal threat, but the New York Times has repeatedly defended Kristof's reporting over the past few days. Kristof's interviews with 14 men and women were corroborated with other witnesses whenever possible and with people the victims confided in. That includes family members and lawyers, according to Charlie Statlander, spokesperson for the paper. Details were extensively fact-checked with accounts further cross-referenced with news reporting, independent research from human rights groups, surveys, and in one case with UN testimony. Independent experts were consulted on the assertions in the piece throughout reporting and fact-checking. I just got to say, the New York Times has always been in the bag for Israel. So the mere fact that they published this, they would not have done this gratuitously unless they were really, 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 really sure. It is not clear in which jurisdiction the Israelis would bring their lawsuit or whether defamation claims can even be filed by any government. There is no chance a U.S. court would countenance such a case, according to Professor Emeritus at the Roger Williams School of Law and a media law expert, David Logan. There is a legal consensus, he said, that the First Amendment prohibits lawsuits or prosecutions of critics of government brought by the government. But I don't know if that would mean a foreign government as well. Mark Stevens, expert in international media law, called the idea of Israel suing the paper ludicrous. Libel is about hurt feelings being shunned and avoided and isolated as a human sentient being, he said. This is as much about politics as it is about law, and courts are alert to the difference. By the way, that's not quite true. A corporation can sue successfully for libel. But Kristof's piece, published on Monday on the op-ed page, details allegations of sexual abuse, including rape, at the hands of Israeli prison guards, soldiers, settlers, and interrogators, and sometimes involving dogs.
Yeah, it's a statement of fact to say that the Israeli guards in these prisons are very, very, very rapey. I do have a question for you, Ted, because I saw it got reported on, but never what happened. Whatever happened with the Jews who are digging the tunnels in Manhattan?
Well, nobody really knows what was going on there. This is about like the supposedly secret tunnels, and we don't really know. Yeah. We know they were digging them right underneath.
Yeah, we know they're tunnels, and we know that there are mattresses in the.
But
tunnel.
We don't really know what they were for, what they were used for, what the idea was. There's no credible evidence has ever come to light suggesting that anything illegal ever happens there. So who fucking knows is the short answer to the question.
Well, isn't tunneling under the roads illegal? Because aren't you
probably
undermining?
Yeah, you have to get a city permit, obviously. It's also very dangerous. I mean, New York City is a hollow city full of infrastructure, right? I mean, there's all sorts of there's electrical wiring, sewage pipes, cable, internet lines. I mean, that might explain why sometimes my internet goes out. But like, it's sort of, it is. It's obviously not. You can't just dig under the streets of New York City. Like,
yeah. I mean,
I guess you can, but you're not supposed to.
I mean, is it a blood libel for me to ask that question? It's like, what were they doing? Why were they doing it? And what was the goal?
I guess if
you ask Jonathan Greenblatt, he would say,
"Yeah, everything is a fucking blood libel to him."
It's like, Robbie, you have to turn yourself in. It's time for you to go for your.
If he orders coffee, but he gets a decaf accidentally, that's a blood libel.
Oh, speaking of coffee, Ted, it's my last cup of 1775 coffee.
No,
it's all gone.
Did you get the Dunkin'?
Yeah, I did. It's just not the same, man. It's not the same.
What's the difference?
Just the 1775 just has a richer flavor because I like the dark bean. I like the dark roast. And it's honestly a excellent cup of coffee. Chris Polofsky, the CEO of Rumble, I know you watch the show. As much as as both paid and unpaid advertising that we do for this show, for God's sake, man, hook a brother up. Listen,
I think it's time for a sponsorship here where, a couple of cases of coffee have to come Robbie's way.
Listen, I mean, it's freaking horrible. Oh, speaking of Jeff Dornick is going to send some pickaxe shirts.
What's he going to send us?
Pickaxe t-shirts.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I hope they look good. Do they look good?
I don't know. It's a t-shirt though.
I'm a t-shirt fan. All right, I'll wear it. Hey, speaking of which, we have an ad, and I bet you can guess what it's for. Still haven't tried 1775 coffee? Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped. Only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits hard, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality Mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus. No crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin-free, and mold-free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. A frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's opinions. And a black 1775 tumbler. $170 worth of coffee and gear. Yours for $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble. Wondering if it's actually worth it? Spoiler, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does.
Ted, I was thinking, we got to do our Rumble Premium episode, and we have never tried this call-in feature where people on Rumble could join the show.
Yeah.
Would y'all like to, just for y'all here on the Rumble chat, it'd be a Rumble Premium, so to either subscribe to Rumble Premium or be a channel subscriber for $5 a month. But would y'all like to do that? Be able to jump onto the show?
We prefer that you become a channel subscriber.
Yeah, I mean that would help us out more. But would y'all like the chance to be able to just come on and BS with me and Ted next week? Let me know in the chat.
Yeah,
Because
cool.
we gotta get some premium episodes out. Gotta get the premium hours in.
We do. So true. So true. All right. Well, before we let people,
Aaron Gordy says yes. So he's so excited he said yes twice.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I'm not sure if that's like okay 3 times. So I think that this may be sex right now and not just being excited about talking to us, but would subject yeah. Hey, listen, if you're going to do it, if you're on Rumble, just you got to be on the website. Click the subscribe button up under the live chat, and we'll make that happen next week. Be careful what you wish for. Listen, John, I wish for all kinds of things. It's one of the reasons why I'm married to a busty black woman. So
what's that? Not following.
I'm not either. I just stood out there.
It's like what?
Yeah, Robbie, show brother. Listen, y'all understand the amount of mourning I'm going through right now. I literally only have one pot of 1775 left. I'm out of beans.
That's not good.
No, it's bad. Because
once you find your beloved coffee, it's an addiction. You know.
Listen, I drink a lot of coffee because I work really long days, and
Lord, I can vouch for that. That's for sure.
I have very few sinful pleasures. One of the ones that I do, I would never sell my soul to Israel, for example. I would 100% whore myself out though for some 1775 coffee.
would you engage in? Would you place would you put a live dildo up your ass for some 1775 coffee?
How long do I have to have it there?
An hour. If
it's a lifetime supply, sure.
Lifetime supply is a long time.
It is. So an hour of humiliation using a vibrating sex toy for a lifetime's worth of 1775 coffee with free shipping.
Hey, you might enjoy
shipping
it.
had to be free. That would have to happen.
But you might enjoy it. It might be great. It might be it might change you, if you know what I mean.
I doubt it. No,
it could.
I will never ever be a sword swallower. Sorry.
This would be more. This wouldn't be about sword swallowing. This would be about, butt pluggery.
I mean, maybe I could talk Kizzy into it, but I don't know.
Well, you don't really need her for that, right? I mean, this is can be a solo project if you so choose.
Well, what's the point of being married then? If it's just going to be solo pleasure.
Well, you don't do everything with your wife, right? I mean, you close the door when you take a shit, right? You don't do everything together.
No, leave the door open.
What?
Yeah, we talk to each other.
Gross. You're like LBJ. He used to do that with his assistants.
Yeah, but I bet he did. But I mean,
no, he did.
Oh, listen, I'm sure that you're telling me the truth here. It's just listen, when Kizzy when she was having her C-section, because I was friends with Dr. Epps. She's retired now, so I can't get her in trouble. She let me pull the babies out. So if I'm able to put my hands into my wife's guts and pull out my babies, then if she wants to talk to me with the bathroom door open, I mean, why not? I have no problem with this.
Mm-hmm. All right. Remind me to send you a picture of my eagle. It came out pretty good. All right.
Send it. You should put it on your X and your Facebook page.
All right. I will do that. All right, guys. It's weekend time is about to begin. Not for us. We have to work. But thanks, everyone, for tuning in. You've been watching the TMI Show with Ted Rall and Manila Chan. Robby West filling in. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Tune in on Monday, 3 shows, Deprogram at 9 a.m., TMI at 10 a.m., and then the Deprogram Q&A show at 12 noon. Thanks, everyone, and talk to you later.
I can't believe that you're ending the show now. I mean, we're supposed to be channeling our inner Manila and be going on for like another hour.
Not me. I got to go see that eagle.
Did y'all see this? Listen, y'all, I'm advocating for y'all, and Ted Rall is the one shutting me down.
That's right.
Talking about the bourgeois. Is that the word?
Happy Friday. Bye.
Damn you.